DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com, BallOverseas.com, Overseas Basketball Blueprint. The topic today is overseas basketball job openings. How can you be up to date on the jobs that are open and the opportunities that are available playing basketball overseas? Now, I have touched on this when I talked about agents, why you want an agent to play professional basketball overseas. And I got a book coming, maybe by the time you see this, about overseas basketball agents. I'll tell you about that when the time is right. And make sure you're on my email list so you know all this. Go to overseasbasketballblueprint.com. Make sure you're on the list to get everything. But anyway, one of the things that I said in that piece about agents is the reason why you want to have a basketball agent is because just like I know, you are not the only player trying to get on overseas right now. A whole bunch of people are trying to get on playing basketball overseas, which means teams understand this and they don't put all their job openings out there publicly because they know if they did, they would be inundated with messages from players like you who are trying to get jobs. And they would not have any method or process for going through all the messages or all the correspondence they would get from players who are trying to get that job that is listed as open. Which means this is what teams do, a lot of teams do, maybe not every team, but a lot of teams, what they do is when they do have a job opening, instead of telling the world that there's a job, what they do is reach out to their network, the agents that they know, the scouts or whoever works for them, and let them know, hey, we had a job opening, this is the kind of player that we want, this is the way that we want this role filled. If you know anybody who fits this description, let us know about it. And that way, the agents that they know or whatever contacts they have, whatever connections that team has, those people send in the players who may be the right types of players. And the reason why teams want it this way is because the teams know that the agents are incentivized to send them the right types of players. Because if an agent sends a team too many players who don't fit the right description and don't fit the bill and can't deliver, then that agent loses their leverage with that team, and that agent basically will go out of business if they have too many bad relations with too many teams for sending trashy players their way. So the agent is incentivized to only show the right types of players. So this is why you could have an agent, and your agent, you might say, well, my agent doesn't seem to be pitching me to too many teams. Well, it may be because no team is asking for a player like you for their club. They may be asking for a player who has experience and you don't have experience. They may be asking for a guard who could play the 1, 2, and the 3, and you're 5'9", so you can only play the 1. They may be asking for a center and you're at small forward / power forward. So maybe the only opportunities being sent to your agent are ones that you just don't fit the bill for, which may be why your agent is not putting you out there as much. I'm not saying this is always the case, but this could definitely be the case because, again, an agent is incentivized to only send the right types of players to teams because they could cost them their career if they're sending you as a 5'9" point guard to a team that's asking for somebody who can play the 1 and the 2 and defend the 1, 2, and the 3 when you clearly cannot. So these are things that you need to keep in mind. And this is why having an agent is so important, because an agent has connections and knows people that you just don't know. Your agent will be privy to information that you will not be told. So these are the reasons why when it comes to job openings overseas, you probably won't know about most of the jobs that are open. All right, most of them you're not going to know unless you know somebody who knows somebody. And there are also you'll see message boards. I've seen them on Facebook or groups on Facebook, and LinkedIn also groups, where there are people who call themselves agents or they're like managers or managing companies, and they are like, all right, we will show you all job openings, or they post, hey, I got a team in Portugal who's looking for a 2 guard with at least 2 years overseas experience, who's a good outside shooter and also a strong defender. Send your resume if you fit the description. Or they'll say, I got a team in Denmark who's looking for a point guard / shooting guard who's really athletic and who can lock down on defense and really run an offense. If rookies are okay, send your information if you're interested. And then they'll get 30, 40, 50 players, send them their information trying to get that job. I have never, ever known a player to get a job that way. I'm not saying it is impossible. I am not saying it is a scam. All I'm saying is I've never known a player to get a job that way. If anyone has gotten a job that way, reach out and let me know. Leave a comment if you're watching this somewhere that has comments. If not, send me an email, team@balloverseas.com, and let us know and have some proof that proves you actually got a job that way. I've never seen anyone do it, but I see a lot of hungry / thirsty players on those message boards and in those groups thinking that may be a way that they could get a job. All right, now, if that was the case, then there'd be no need for agents. There'd just be these guys posting these boards and they'd be the agents. The agents would just be doing that. But I know agents, And I know what agents do. They travel around the country, United States, dealing with their players. They travel around the world, making face-to-face direct connections with teams for their players. There's a reason why they exist. And there's a better sales pitch for agents. So any agent who's watching this should be happy that I'm saying this, because I'm actually building value in what you do. All right, this is the value of having an agent. They know about the job openings. They have the direct connections. They know things that you don't know, and they will not waste energy pitching the wrong players to jobs that they don't fit for, like you might be doing. You, as an individual player, you might find some information about some teams and start sending your information to them, and they have no openings for the kind of player that you are, but you send all those emails thinking that you're doing something, but you're actually not, because they're not even interested in you. You're pitching yourself to people who don't even want to buy what you're selling. So does that make any sense? You want to be pitching yourself to people who are actually interested in what you want. You got to target your market properly. And you as a player by yourself, if you don't have those connections and those relationships, you won't know how to target the market. So that's the whole point. So when it comes to job openings overseas, do they exist? Of course they do. Because every year teams switch players. In the middle of seasons, teams switch players. Teams want different types of players. Maybe they don't like who they had. Maybe they really like them, but that player moved on because they got a better contract. There are always job openings overseas. Always. What you want to do is position yourself so that you can be in the know. So when those jobs come open and you fit the description for what that team wants, you have somebody who knows somebody who can get your name on that pile, get your name on that short list of players who are actually being considered. This is the way that it works. I know that some of you, again, may wish that it was a lot easier, that you could just post to some LinkedIn message board, LinkedIn group, and you could just get a job off of that amongst the other 63 players who also submitted their information for some job they got posted. Listen, those are not, again, I don't know anyone who's ever signed a deal off that. If you signed a deal off that, let me know so I can say that I know somebody who did, but I don't know anybody who did. Now that that's been said, now you know. If you have not gotten your free copy of the Overseas Basketball Blueprint, that is the book that tells you everything you need to know to play professional basketball overseas. I took that blueprint straight from what I did, coming out of a D3 school, no scholarship in college, didn't even play my senior year in college, and still made it happen and made a career for myself overseas. If you want to do the same thing, go to balloverseas.com. The book is already paid for. I'm not even charging you for the book. All you do is pay for the shipping. And go to balloverseas.com/call. Fill out that short form, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to talk one-on-one. I've got some questions I want to ask you about your career, about your path, about your journey, about your needs, about your wants, your desires, all of that. balloverseas.com/call. Let's get to work on your game and get you where you need to be, signed and playing basketball overseas. Dre all day.